Hi, and good evening. Welcome to the April SWE Pacific Northwest Digital Digest. I'm Kat McCoy, and I'm here tonight with Teresa Crack and Heather. So I'm going to be your friendly MC walking us through this, and then Teresa and Heather are going to be going through some of the more details. What's on deck for tonight? So we're going to go through a minute or so with SWE Pacific Northwest section, get us caught up with what's going on, what's happened, some of the upcoming events that we've got, and some great engagement opportunities. Then we'll be going through some of the SWE business and behind the scenes. Promise we're going to keep this as interesting as we possibly can. And we got some great section shout outs that we're going to go through. And then we're going to wrap up the event with Ask Me Anything. So moving on to a minute or so section. So Teresa, do you want to give us some information about what's going on right now?
Yeah, first thing we want to start with is a reminder to our section members about how you can connect with SWE PNW. So we've got a website that's out there. You can find all of this on the, all of our connections start with our web page. We do have a blog called Rainy Day Reads, and we feature some articles. We'll be posting some stuff for the upcoming election on there, so make sure that you're keeping your eye out on that. We have a periodic newsletter, Notes from the Northwest. Again, we'll be doing some election communications in that pamphlet format again this year. We also have our monthly highlights email, which we are calling our SWE PNW Happenings. We're really excited to kind of update some of the branding on that with this last one. And you can sign up for our email list online. We are also on social media, which includes Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So be sure to like and follow us on those platforms. We also have great ways that you can connect with us. You can follow us on our Google Calendar. You can even sync that to your own personal phone or email account so that you can get the latest in your sort of digestible calendar way. We also have all of our events up on Facebook. If you like and interact those, tag your friends that might be interested. If you've got pics at those events, make sure you tag SWE PNW both on Facebook and on Instagram. And we try to share those pictures to help promote our members at our events. Another reminder to sign up for our email list. We do use MailChimp for that, and there are some segments that you can sign up for to, get more targeted emails when we send out things to specifically professional development or outreach. We do send most of our emails to the entire email list, but when we do those special emails, that also lets you have that option of getting those as well. And all of our events are up on Eventbrite. This is a really cool thing. You can search for SWE PNW. We have multiple organizers out there. So we've got professional development and outreach, section operations, signature events. And if you follow those organizers on Eventbrite, this is actually the first communication you will get when we publish an event that goes live. So if you follow an organizer, you will get that email saying, hey, your organizer has a new event. So if you want to be the first to know about when our events are published before they even get out on Facebook or potentially even the Google Calendar, make sure you follow us on our Eventbrite organizer pages.
Hey, thanks so much. Hey, I've got a question for you. What if somebody wants to help organize one of the events?
If they want to help organize one of the events, we have a few opportunities coming up on that. But I think before we get there, we've got our upcoming list of events for people to attend.
Great. Okay, so we got great events coming up here in April and the beginning of May. So on the 14th of this month, we've got the Executive Council meeting, which is going to be a face-to-face, great opportunity to meet your council members, so the president, our president-elect, and everybody else. So that's going to be in Redmond. Then on the 20th, we've got Think Like an Engineer Journey. So for grades 6 through 12, as well as K through 5. And the 27th, one of our feature events that we're going to be talking about a little bit more later on in this, we've got an Enzo Center workshops for self-defense and stress management. End of the month, we've got another EC meeting. This one's going to be online this time, but everybody is always welcome to join. And then we've also got a society level virtual career fair coming up on the 30th. And then the really big one coming up here soon is May 5th. We've got our annual banquet for the section. Hope everybody can make it out to Ray's Boathouse for that. And then on the 7th, we've got the SWE Outreach Committee meeting coming up.
quite an impressive list for getting towards April here and going into May. So I'm excited for some of those.
Yeah, I agree.
So coming back to your question, Kat, if you see an event that you like or you see an event that you'd like us to do, we do have several leadership and section operations opportunities. We're always looking for volunteers on our committees. If you've got for any of these opportunities, we'll go through kind of who you can contact on the next slide. But if you're not sure where to go, if you email our SWE.PNW.secretary@gmail.com, our secretary, Marina, will help get you connected to the right person. But our committees are always looking for help. We've got professional development, outreach and volunteering, which is Heather's committee, social and networking, college relations, scholarships, virtual brand team. There's always opportunities in all areas for both event planning and behind the scenes support. We also have several leadership opportunities. This would be taking on like a chair or a lead role, looking for somebody to kind of take the lead on our social and networking focus area. We have the model for our book club. It's been on a little bit of a hiatus because we've been looking for a lead curator. So if you're interested in kind of picking that back up, we'd love to have help there. Also looking for things like member engagement, corporate relations, and even something as simple as being a company liaison and helping us partner with your company or a company that you've got a relationship with. And then there's always SWE business stuff that we need help with. Those are our section operations area. We've got you can join a signature event planning team. We're going to be looking ahead into next year and trying to get an early start on that. But if you're interested in helping with one of our larger signature events, let us know. We also have special task forces that look at specific issues. We're currently in the process of evaluating what's going to be going on in next fiscal year. But if you're interested in helping with that, watch for information. And again, the smaller areas is be a content contributor. Write a blog post on one of your SWE experiences or a recap of attending like something like We Local Bellevue, or engage with us on social media and post in the member forum. Those are really quick, simple things that people can do to engage and keep the conversation going between our SWE members.
Thanks so much, Teresa. It sounds like we've got some great opportunities to continue keeping everybody engaged in the group.
Yeah. And then I'll finish this one out here. So as I referenced kind of before, we've kind of borrowed this idea from the society, who came out with a really nice, helpful grid for us as section leaders to know how to contact HQ. So here is our grid for our members to know how they can contact us here at the section level. So you see a lot of our email accounts that we have, they're position or focused area based. And we've got some bullet points to kind of tell you what sort of things that email would be appropriate for. Like if you have questions on our donation process, how do you donate to SWE PNW? You'd want to email our treasurer. If you've got questions about our awards program, our awards email, or EC meeting questions, you'd email our secretary. So we've got a hopefully helpful grid that we've put out on our Facebook page and is up on our webpage as well. And if you don't know where to go, the starting point to our contact is our secretary. We do also have a contact us form on our webpage. So if you've got those two options where when you don't know where you need to go, you still have a way to connect with us.
Great. Sounds like we've got some good opportunities. Okay, getting into SWE business and behind the scenes. So Heather and Teresa, do you want to launch this off?
Yeah, I can go ahead and get started here. First thing we're going to talk about is our section operations and things that are going on at the section level from a SWE business perspective. We mentioned it in the minute or so with SWE PNW, but we have our next signature event coming up, which is our ENSO Center workshop. Really excited to be bringing this back. It's the third year that we're doing it, and this year we've expanded to not only offering a self-defense session, but also offering a stress management session. So you have the option to sign up for one session, the other session, or both sessions. We've got the prices kind of summarized here, but the Eventbrite is officially live right now. And if you want to attend both sessions, you can sign up and get both sessions at a discount. So make sure that if you're doing both sessions, you look for the combo ticket price because it will save you money. And lunch is going to be included for those that attend. And really excited to be able to do that in terms of working with our section budget to offer lunch for those that are attending this. We've had a really good turnout the last 2 years for people doing this. And the really cool thing is you don't need any martial arts or self-defense experience. It's all levels are welcome, and they do a really good job of kind of tailoring the instruction to each person's understanding and their body movements and their physical things. So if you've got any questions, feel free to contact us, and everybody's welcome.
That
Hey,
sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Hey, Teresa, what's the difference between the prices for the SWE member for each of the types of session options?
That's a great question. So we price our tickets based off of being either a SWE member or a non-SWE member. And within our SWE member bracket, we have our professional members, and then we have a ticket pricing option for collegiates, which is a little bit lower because we do open most of our events for our collegiate section members, because we have like UW SWE. There's a couple of college interest groups in the area as well. And then we also have a retired or unemployed pricing as well to, again, kind of keep those prices lower so that we're being inclusive of providing the opportunity for all of our members in our section to be able to attend our events.
And these are both definitely great sessions for all ages, but also especially collegiate members. Stress, man, I remember stress when I was in college.
I think I remember stress from yesterday too, so it doesn't really go away after college.
Very true.
Yeah, it sounds like a great way to relieve some stress with that self-defense section.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's a really great thing, and this happens to be where I also go and do some of my martial arts. And the Enso Center is a fantastic organization to work with for this because they absolutely understand the dynamic of being a woman in STEM and how that's potentially different than just being a man in STEM, and how that we try to tailor the content to our audience as well as the self-defense and stress management thing. So they've been really great to work with the last couple of years. So please sign up, attend.
Awesome.
So I think with that, we'll toss it over to Heather. You want to walk us through our sponsorship piece?
Yeah, so there are different ways that people can get involved in being a sponsor. So some of the different things that we've had sponsors for are providing meeting spaces, and with providing those meeting spaces, they get a 5 to 10 minute slot on the agenda. So somebody usually comes up and talks a little bit about what the company is and does. And some of the companies have been really awesome in giving small mini tours at the end. And it's been really interesting to see the different locations and go to different places. So that's always good for both the members who come to the meetings and for the companies who get a wide variety of SWE members at their space. So a little bit more on those. Usually the meeting sponsor will provide food, and there are event signups with the logo and company description. So all that information about the company goes out to the public and to the SWE membership community, to all of the people that are involved and interested in looking into going to the events. It includes social media and a shout out. So getting that recognition out there. And again, that 10-minute slot on the agenda as a meeting sponsor. And after the event, the thank you and tags on social media. So always a good thing to have extra people come and sponsor us, whether it's just as a location host or as a meeting sponsor. And we always look forward to having a variety of companies to interact with.
It's such a great opportunity to learn, especially about some of the local businesses that we have around here. So if a local company or organization is interested in sponsoring, who do they need to reach out to?
So the starting point for that is typically going to be our secretary email, but they can also contact our president-elect email. So that would be swe.pnw.elect@gmail.com, or our swe.pnw.president@gmail.com. Those would be the sort of 3 contact points to start that discussion on sponsorship or location hosting.
Thanks so much, Heather and Teresa.
Yeah, this is a really cool thing, and this is kind of we've sort of utilized individuals as quote company liaisons to pull this off, and we've had some fairly good partnerships this year. So we're looking to continue that definitely into next year. Which then I think this means that we now get to talk about our big end of year event, our annual banquet. So who's excited for this? I am.
I am.
So this is going to
menu.
Yes.
You know, right?
Oh man, that's why it made the slide. You're stealing my thunder here. So this is going to be on Sunday, May 5th. Please note the corrected date. Our save the date in the last email went out with an incorrect date at the bottom of the email. We apologize for that. The event is in fact booked for May 5th, and that is a Sunday. And exciting, we have a brunch menu with some new items this year. So if you've joined us for the past several years, we have been at Ray's Boathouse before. We've kind of worked with them to kind of switch up some menu items. So we have some variety this year. We are doing a watermelon salad this year. Very excited for that. We have classic eggs Benedict. We're going to have both a Canadian bacon and a Florentine option. So that helps with sort of the people who don't eat bacon option. Cinnamon French toast. We've got our Ray's Applewood smoked wild Pacific salmon sides, which is a really long name for something that is awesomely good. We're going to have the herb roasted potatoes again. We're going to have fresh sliced fruit, and there's going to be a selection of juice, coffee, and tea. So really excited to kind of keep some of the good standards that people like to have on the menu, but also mix in a few items so that it's a little bit different for a flavor board this year.
But you guys, but my mouth is watering over that brunch menu.
See, this is called the teaser trailer. So in addition to this really awesome menu we're going to have, is we do have a guest speaker lined up. And Elaine's been working on coordinating that. So there'll be some information going out to our blog to kind of highlight the speaker and the bio ahead of time, as well as the Eventbrite when that goes live. The other really cool thing about this is that this is our big year-end showcase of what we've accomplished and what we've done as a section. So we're going to be going through and highlighting all of our focus areas and some of the really great things that we've done, doing recognition for the volunteers and the leaders that have helped make it a successful year. And we're also going to be doing things like our section awards program, which we'll talk more about in a moment. But if you've got any questions on the event itself, please contact our SWE PNW president, Elaine. She's kind of the lead on this. Her email address is at swe.pnw.president@gmail.com. Also, plug out there for people who have dietary restrictions or food allergies. Ray's Boathouse is really great at accommodating that. I myself have a peanut allergy, and I've been able to work with them every year to make sure that there's food and things there that I can eat. So if you've got one of those dietary restrictions or food allergies, please contact us and let us know, and we will make sure to work with you so that there's food there that you can eat.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Which then I think means we get to hop over to our section awards program. Kat, you want to give us a quick walkthrough of this?
Yeah, sure. So we've got, so the SWE Pacific Northwest Section Awards it's nominations and suggestions coming straight from our SWE PNW members. And then our EC members wind up making the final selection. So they're broken off into 3 different categories this year. We have our Members' Choice. This is a peer-nominated award that recognizes a specific SWE PNW member for their work with and supporting the section. Then we have our MVP, you know, that wonderful, most valuable person that made some sort of significant impact on the overall section leadership, development, or the growth of the section as a whole. Then finally, you know, we're a volunteer-run organization pretty much, especially within the section. So we want to recognize some of those volunteers that have been helping support us and get us through the year. So we have a Volunteer of the Year award, and we've broken it off this year into focus area so that way each area gets an opportunity to recognize an outstanding volunteer. This is meant to recognize a SWE PNW member that really stepped up in a specific focus area to support leadership, development, growth within that area. So we were going to have one for outreach, professional development, and then the virtual brand team. So the nomination form is going to be going live this weekend. Please take a few minutes, nominate some people for some of these great awards. We're really looking forward to it. And then, as Teresa was mentioning earlier, we'll have these awards essentially given out at the annual banquet.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of being on the EC and tying into the annual banquet is really getting these the membership nominations and you know, especially for areas that even as president-elect where you try to keep an eye on where everything's at, you don't always get the chance to see everybody working behind the scenes. So I really enjoy seeing the nominations come in for where people are noticing that help and trying to recognize that help. So excited to continue our awards program this year with these sort of 3 focus areas for our awards.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's get into the We Local Bellevue recap. Okay, man, I can't believe that was just this last weekend. It seems like so long ago already.
Oh my gosh, yes. But I did get at least one good night of sleep after that.
Oh, there we go.
So I'll go ahead and kick off the We Local get started. One of the things that I always love about the We Locals is that they do a really great job of being green and managing the check-ins and the lines. And as I mentioned, I have a peanut allergy, so anything that helps me identify my food allergy so that I can enjoy the food that I am served is great. So I really liked the food allergy and dietary restriction cards because that just helps with a quick reference when you're working with things. So I was kind of excited to see the whole setup.
You know, in general, I really thought all the signage was absolutely fantastic. I never felt like I was getting lost going around the We Local this year.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. And the really cool thing, I don't know if you knew this about the signs, but they're designed to travel to We Local year to year, such that the only signs that are really printed new each year are the ones that identify the locations and the award winners. Other than that, everything else is designed to be reused each year, and they're really trying to keep that green thing, including turning in your badges and your lanyards at the end to reduce the footprint of that. So that's a cool thing too.
Engineers going green. Who would have thought it?
No.
I love it.
So then I think we get to how did we find SWE PNW at the conference?
I remember I got a SWE PNW member ribbon to go on my badge, which I was really excited about. It was a great way of actually identifying the various other PNW section members at the conference, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was a really cool thing. This came out of some of our EC discussions because we wanted to sort of test the waters before doing this at a society conference. For those that are familiar at the society conference, they have a ribbons board where you can kind of grab things that self-identify. And there are some sections and some groups that bring their own ribbons. And we're like, we can never find SWE PNW members at conference. So how do we identify them? It's like, let's do ribbons. So this was our inaugural launch of our SWE PNW member ribbons. So keep an eye out for those at We19 coming up here in the fall because we will have them, but you'll have to find us to get them.
I love that so much. I can't wait to see it at the next one.
Oh, it's exciting. We also had a lot of people there from our section doing awesome things.
We did. We had a lot of great section members presenting a lot of really great topics.
And I think we've got here Claire Robinson presented, what was it, coming late to the party, how to engage with SWE when maybe you didn't do it in college. Marina Daneker, our secretary, did a fake it till you make it talking about improv. Dana Day was actually the local host committee chair, so you saw her up on stage very frequently introducing things at the breakfast, lunches, and dinners, and doing a really good job of managing the conference. So really happy to see how well that went, and congratulations, Dana, on pulling off a successful conference.
Definitely a successful conference.
Yeah, Grace Lefferbuers moderated a panel. And I feel weird talking about the last 2 pictures. So, Kat, would you like to talk about them?
I also got to watch you and Claire go speak about the next evolution of your digital infrastructure. It was a great VBT talk that you guys gave. So, and it's always nice to see how it evolves as you guys give it each time as we continue to learn more about VBT, which was fantastic. And then up there in the top right is our great selfie with the group that was at our moving around panel. So I always forget the name of that panel. I've done it 3 times now, and I can never remember the name of it.
Hashtag alone amongst many.
There we go. It's always nice, too, because every time that panel, it's different questions, which is always fun to see what people are thinking about when they're thinking about moving to new places.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed that panel, not just from the topics, but because that has been one of the things that we've tried to demystify the process of being on a panel and applying to speak at conferences by, this is a SWE PNW submitted panel where we ask for somebody to submit it to the conference. They get to learn the process. We've got all the abstract information sort of updated and tweaked as we go through each year of submitting it. And then we pull a panel together, and it's a great opportunity for SWE PNW members to engage at a conference and potentially become a little less afraid of submitting some of their own work. So it's a great sort of introduction to the presenting at a conference thing. We've now run this at several WE locals and at the society conference. It's also a panel model that we're happy to pass on to members. You know, I took it to Honeywell and took some SWE PNW members with me to UW SWE. So as long as you give SWE PNW the credit for the panel idea, we're happy to help you adapt this to a situation yourself. And we have submitted it for WE 19. So if we get accepted, look for calls for panelists in the near future.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Oh, and congratulations to our award winner, Teresa. She won the WE Local Elite Award. So Elite means the Emerging Leader in Technology and Engineering Award. It's the kind of local version of our Emerging Leader Award at the society level. So very well deserved and well earned by Teresa. So congratulations.
Congrats,
Yes.
Teresa.
Thank you. And I want to give a shout out to Claire Robinson, who's with me in that bottom picture, because she was my nominator and had to navigate through the system. This is the first time that they were doing the WE Local Awards program after doing that sort of assessment after regions went away. So there were still a few bugs that they had to work out. So thank you, Claire, for your help in getting everything submitted as my nominator.
Yeah, speaking as somebody that's been nominated in the past, it is definitely not an easy process, but you definitely deserved it. Well earned.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, and the group picture after the awards dinner. I was sad I wasn't able to stick around with you guys.
It's okay. We missed you. You were there in spirit.
Aww.
What a great representation. That's awesome.
Yep.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and this isn't even all of the SWE PNW members that attended the conference. And I mean, it was really cool. We've got a couple people that are moving up here that like are in the process of transferring their membership. So we were able to get them connected to the web pages and things like that. And we're able to connect some people face to face that only ever see each other virtually, which was fantastic. I think Claire and Shari Wang happened to also support the virtual brand team, and Claire and Shari actually got to meet for the first time because they hadn't met in person before. So it's like we all know who each other are as an email, but that face-to-face meeting is just something really cool. So it's always great to see everybody in person.
Always nice to mix a little virtual with face-to-face time.
And I think this gets to be our teaser trailer into next year. We as a section are officially going to be celebrating 65 years with this next fiscal year. We were officially founded in 1955. We are one of the oldest sections in SWE. As you can see, it's a relatively short list that made this particular slide, and I don't believe there was a second slide. So we are super excited to be going into our 65th year as a section, which means we're going to look ahead and we want to celebrate. And so if you're interested in helping us come up with ideas or chairing an event in and around celebrating our 65 years or potentially helping with the annual banquet, please contact swe.pnw.preselect at gmail.com. That's going to be kind of the actively watched email as we go through the transition over the summer and transition our officers. But we are definitely going to be looking for help for that celebration as we go into this next fiscal year, because come on, 65 is an awesome number and we should celebrate it.
Definitely. That's amazing to know that our section's been around for 65 years. Holy cow.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, and I remember the section had just turned 60 around when I first moved out here, and I think that was one of the first annual banquets that I went to, was when they were celebrating their 60th year, and that it's really cool because you get to sometimes network with those longtime members at the annual banquet that maybe you don't see in other events, and it's great to have those discussions with people who were around in the early years of the section to just see how far we've come and how much we've grown. So it's pretty awesome.
Definitely.
Woo woo.
Oh, and our SWE PNW shout-outs. Who do we have to congratulate this month? Okay, so to Dana Day, shout out by Sonia. So for helping her host the We Local Bellevue prep session the weekend before the conference and hosting the conference. You're awesome, Dana. She is. Dana is an absolutely amazing person. If you've not met her, you really should. She's awesome. Let's see. Shout out to April Byrne from Teresa. So for helping with the Honeywell hosted professional development event. So April also amazing section member. Then to the SWE PNW at We Local Bellevue Instagram crew. There's several of us in that group. Kat, Claire, Teresa, Elaine, Nicole, Sherry, thank you all for helping taking and providing pictures. It was a lot of fun actually getting to see all of the Instagram pictures showing up and getting tagged from We Local. Then shout out to Elaine Reeves and Teresa Crack from the whole SWE PNW EC. Great job handing out the SWE PNW member ribbons that we were just talking about at the We Local Bellevue. Fantastic job helping to create the awareness for the section. And I am really looking forward to seeing those show up here in Anaheim in the fall. Then a shout out to Teresa from the SWE PNW EC and Professional Development Group. Thank you for coordinating the speaker for our April PD event, as well as getting the location hosting support from Honeywell and putting together the quick guide networking cards, which I did see show back up at the We Local event, and they were very fun. I like those. Then to the networking quick guide team from EC and PD groups. So to Teresa, Suzanne, Megan, and Suzanne, two Suzannes, thank you for helping hand out the networking quick guide cards at We Local Bellevue. So it's helping to get the word out about the SWE PNW section and giving people a boost on networking. I know that was definitely something that I've always struggled with, so any helping hand is always appreciated. And then also a shout out to Claire Robinson from Teresa. Many thanks for helping coordinate the communication drafts for the upcoming outreach events and working with Holly Bork on making sure it got in the queue. Claire, one of my favorite peeps.
And I'll go ahead and do the next one. I want to give a shout out to Kat McCoy for helping us with the April Digital Digest from a virtual brand perspective to make sure we had the support from a MC side today.
Hey, always glad to help out. And then finally, Dana Day, another one from Nicole. So you rocked it as the local host committee chair for We Local Bellevue, which completely agree with that. Appreciate all your coordination and collaboration before and during the conference to make it a success. It was a blast serving on your committee. Nicole is also an amazing person. So had such amazing people working this year on the We Local Bellevue. It was a great conference.
So many awesome things happening. Awesome job, guys.
Yeah, definitely. So, and if you have a shout out that you want to share, at the bottom of this slide, you can see a link to the website to submit any of your shout outs, and they'll show up on next month's May Digital Digest.
Yes, and it's we'll also get these out to Facebook and our webpage in the next couple of days. And one of the things we love our shout outs, and it's really exciting that we had 3 slides worth of shout outs this time, which was fantastic. So thank you everybody who submitted them and gave the shout outs, because, you know, SWE people, uplifting SWE people is a great way to help everybody feel acknowledged and recognized for their efforts as a volunteer, and to help showcase all of the big and small ways that people help our section and the SWE experience be better for our SWE members in the area. So on behalf of our EC, thank you everybody who got a shout out and who's been working diligently behind the scenes to help make us a success.
Okay, leading into a committee highlight. So we've got Heather here tonight to talk about outreach in the K through 12 group. Heather?
Yeah, bringing it on to outreach. So there's been some awesome things that the Pacific Northwest section has been involved in and supporting. And as mentioned earlier, there's a new another event coming up on April 20th. So if anyone's interested in volunteering, we can always use more volunteers. So that'll be with the Girl Scouts up in Everett. So that'll be our next event. You can see everybody wearing their purple volunteer shirts in the pictures. There's always some great things going on. We're always looking for more people that are interested in getting ideas together, or just helping out and volunteering in any way they can. So that's always fun. We always welcome that. You're welcome to email me at the SWE Pacific Northwest outreach email for any ideas or questions that you may have. I know we've had a couple members this year reach out just to put together a booth at their kids' school, or just to see how they can get involved in the community and wherever they are that's local. So the Pacific Northwest section covers a really big area, and it's hard to reach out. It's hard to cover every aspect of the Pacific Northwest section. So it's always great to have extra people and extra hands in all the different reaches of our community to get involved and be a part of the outreach community and serve and bring STEM and all of the wonderful things of outreach to kids, and just get involved in the community. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. You can see some of the great things that we've done on the slide, but I'll leave it there.
Thanks so much, Heather. It looks like everybody's having such a great time in all of these pictures.
It's always a good time.
Hey, question for you. If a member wants to bring a non-member friend to help volunteer, are non-members also allowed to volunteer?
I believe so. Teresa, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, generally speaking, our volunteering opportunities are going to be open to both members and non-members. There may be a few exceptions, and that might have to do with sort of the counts or the type of event that it is. But that would be definitely detailed out on our Eventbrite page for that particular event. But I do know that outreach is something that we encourage, and so if by bringing a friend along, they can see, how awesome it is to be, participating in SWE and doing outreach, and we inspire them to do more of it. That's what we're looking for at SWE, to continue that mission and vision and that outreach.
Yeah, and our Eventbrite details are usually pretty detailed, so there's usually a lot of good information per event to know what's going on. And as always, questions via email or Facebook or any of the other ways to get a hold of us are always welcome to just ask away.
Yep. And that's actually a great point, Heather. All of our events on Eventbrite do also show up on our Facebook page. And if you ever have a question about an event, you can post in the discussion of that event on Facebook or in our SWE PNW member forum. We have several people from the executive council that watch that to be able to respond. We also have some virtual brand team members that help admin that stuff. So if you post a question, we have a lot of people monitoring that so that we can either help answer that question or tag the person that we think has that answer to make sure that you get that answer. So sometimes that can be quicker than email. So don't forget about the social media question asking as well.
Yep.
Thanks so much, guys. Okay, leading into FY20, our election cycle. Teresa, do you have a status update for us?
Yes, I do. So we are going to be going into the front end of our election cycle here. And where we are today is we have officially voted on our NomCom from an executive council perspective. So as president-elect, I serve on that. We also have Kalyani, Suzanne, and Claire serving on the NomCom. Per our bylaws, we need at least 3 members of the NomCom, and we've been successfully able to get 4. So we're really excited to have some good support for that. And so where we're going with that today is we are in the process of getting up and running. There's going to be some intros of our NomCom members so that you kind of get an idea of who they are and what their SWE experience is. We're trying to be, as we go through our behind the scenes SWE stuff, we're trying to make it more transparent to our members, not just from an election cycle standpoint, but from a, hey, these people are doing this. This could be an opportunity for you in the future too to serve on our NomCom. So trying to keep things a little bit more communicative and transparent on that behind the scenes activity, because sometimes people forget that that's an opportunity, and we want to make sure that that's there for next year. So that's a really exciting thing. When you take a look at where we go from here, there will be a call for candidates that will get coordinated by the NomCom. That will basically go out with a candidate interest form. We did a major update of our candidate interest form last year, so we're hoping that there shouldn't be too many tweaks to that this year. There's a couple things that we have to tweak based on some of our bylaws activity that's going on right now, because we're still in the process of revising our bylaws for the post-region world. So we've got to add some verbiage around what that's going to look like, because we're probably going to be doing this election cycle in parallel to the approval process. And then from there, it'll go through the candidate vetting process. The slate will get announced to the section. There'll be a feedback and petition period. It'll get finalized and officially announced for voting, and then we will have our voting. One of the key pieces here is that any SWE PNW member may vote. We do verify votes. That's part of what we have to do per our bylaws. So make sure you go into your membership portal on SWE.org and check your section affiliation. Because if you're not affiliated with SWE PNW, you won't show up on our membership roster, such that if you vote, it wouldn't then be a valid vote. So that is step 1 for our members to engage with our election process, is to make sure that you are associated with the section in the membership portal so that we can count your vote.
And if I remember correctly, this got brought up during WeLocal, that it's literally as easy as just making sure that your address is correct in the portal to make sure that you're assigned the correct section, correct?
That is step 1. One of the things that's a little bit of a nuance is that the portal doesn't always update, because your address and your section don't necessarily have to match. And that's often why we end up with disconnects, is people update their address to get their mailing when they move. Like, say we had a member move from Washington to the East Coast, update the address to keep their SWE membership, but then their affiliation is still showing as SWE PNW. So it's something that you do have to go check, because it doesn't necessarily automatically update and assign your section. But it is easy to update in the portal regardless. It's a box check kind of thing.
Great, thanks for that clarification.
Yes, and I think we are looking at putting a blog post out with some updated screenshots, because the last time we wrote up instructions on this, there was still the region affiliation, and we want to make sure that we're using the updated screenshots from the membership portal this year. So we will try to put something out on our blog to walk you through what that process looks like, because we think that's helpful, especially for people who don't frequently go into the membership portal and update things. Which then I think takes us into other ways you can engage after that. If you're interested in being an officer, our positions that we'll be for sure electing for next year will be president-elect, secretary, and treasurer. Our bylaws are currently in work, so we're looking at what the VP positions look like, but we do have focus areas like professional development and outreach where we have current VPs. So if you're interested in that kind of role, submit your name for that. And You're going to want to submit that to our SWE.PNW.nomination@gmail.com. Just the note right now is that we are getting the the nom-com up and running. So responses may be a little bit delayed while we get everybody up to speed and get access to that account to the team. But if you send it in there, we'll know that that's where we should follow up with you after we get the nom-com officially up and running. Another way to engage, make sure you provide feedback on candidates and vote. So when that petition period opens and there's the call for feedback, go ahead and provide feedback. And when we open it up for voting, please vote. That's the biggest way, whether it's in our section elections or the society elections that are opening now. As a SWE member, you have the privilege to vote, and we really want to encourage you to take advantage of that privilege. If you've got any questions on our election process or learning more about what we're doing, you can email the nomination email, but you can also email the SWE.PNW.elect@gmail.com, and we'll make sure we answer your questions. So we are happy to answer questions on the process, on our bylaws, what we're required to do, the ins and outs of being an officer. So please send us those questions, and we'd love to help get you more familiar with our election cycle.
Okay, and if you get elected, you too could be participating on a future digital digest.
Oh, the opportunities.
Okay, and I think that is a wrap. So at this point, we'll open it up. Oh, that's right. We've got housekeeping and wrap up here. So this is a reminder, what Heather was saying earlier, volunteer at some of the upcoming outreach events. As she was indicating, those will be sent out via social media, and we'll have Eventbrite setups. We got the Enzo Center Workshop, Eventbrite Live. Get your tickets now. Feel free to share your stories about the We Local Bellevue. So I know it was just a week ago, but we'd love to continue hearing everybody's experiences and how they enjoyed it. And then as always, please, please, please volunteer. We always have places that we can use some help. So just reach out to us and we'll be glad to find something that'll fit with your time schedule and your abilities. Always glad to take volunteers. And now I believe it is a Ask Me Anything moment.
Yes, and I have the Facebook discussion group up, and I've been kind of posting as we go on behalf of our SWE PNW page to let people know that we are in the AMA segment. I know we'll kind of wait for a little bit of cycle time delay here with the audio recording. So I'll keep an eye out there. Also checking my text just to see if any of my peeps out there decided to text me instead. But as we kind of vamp, so I know we've got Kat, who sits on our virtual brand team, has been a great help behind the scenes here, and Heather on our outreach side. As you've kind of heard what we've been doing as a section, do any questions come to your mind in terms of things that a member might want to know that maybe we didn't touch on today?
So for the upcoming 65 years celebration, if somebody's interested, has some ideas in ways that they think would be really great to celebrate for those 65 years, who do you think would be good for them to reach out to?
So I think we're going with the president-elect email right now. So that's the SWE.PNW.pres.elect@gmail.com. That's the one email that gets monitored by somebody that transitions year to year. And so if you've got ideas, hit that email first, and we'll work on compiling that. The other thing is if you have ideas and you're not sure where to put them and you're not sure that you have the bandwidth to volunteer, but you want to give us an idea, we'll take those too. Giving us an idea is not a commitment to volunteer to support the idea. We're open to kind of any ideas and any level of support on that.
Great, thanks so much. And then a specific question to Heather. Heather, do you have a specific upcoming outreach event that you're really looking forward to?
Well, the April 20th event that's coming up for the Girl Scouts up in Everett should be a very interesting event, and that's just coming up in a short week and a half, I believe. So that one is on the calendar, and out there ready for people to sign up and volunteer. Should be a great time. Kids from pretty much K through 12. So there will be 2 different sections for volunteering, either in the morning or in the afternoon, with the 2 different age groups. So K through 5, and then I believe the K through 5 is in the afternoon, and then the 6 through 12 is in the morning. I'd have to double check, but all those details and everything are, Eventbrite, Facebook, email us, social media, all of that stuff. There's it's in the it was sent out, I think, in the last newsletter. So check your email. It's all out there. Get us some volunteers.
Yeah, and Heather, I'll confirm because I happen to be pulling up the Eventbrite. The morning is the 6 to 12, and the afternoon is the K through 5. Yes.
Perfect.
And actually, just so that, because we're vamping a little bit here, we've got our Eventbrites here, and basically the really cool thing that we were talking about earlier in terms of following the organizer and all the great information we have here. There's some great FAQs up on here, but you can follow an organizer by going, hey, look, all the way down at the bottom, organizer, click on the organizer, and it loads slowly, and you get to the organizer page, and it will show you the upcoming events. You can go look at the past events, and you can click follow when you're signed in on your Eventbrite account, and then that will get you the latest and greatest information whenever anything is published. And it's a great sort of little bit of an automated feature that is a little known fact, but we're trying to make it a little bit more known because this will be the first run communication on our events. So figured could do a little bit of screen sharing there as we vamp.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thanks to both of you guys for that answer.
And I'm watching our event page here.
No worries. I think we're pretty much wrapped up at this point. So unless we get any last minute questions coming through, I'd like to thank both Heather and Teresa for joining us tonight. This has been a great April Digital Digest. And unless you guys have any more parting words, we'll just say thank you very much, and we'll see everybody next time.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, and have a great night.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me be a part of the Digital Digest this time around.
Thanks very much. Take care, everybody.